So what are the different types of electronic cigarettes? There's a lot of models out there in the market, but there are two basic types when we talk about the construction of the electronic cigarette. We have the older technology, or the three-part electronic cigarette, and then you've got the newer technology, or the two-part electronic cigarette. As an example of the older technology, this is one of the products that's currently out in the market. It's not our product. We've pulled the labels off. This is actually one of the competitors' product, and it's the older technology. And let me show you what that is. First part is a battery. The second part is an atomizer or a heating element. And that simply screws onto the battery. Now, depending on the model, that atomizer may look different. This is actually an atomizer from a different model. Looks slightly different, same functionality. The third component is a cartridge, and that cartridge has an insert in the middle of it that contains the nicotine, and that simply slides onto the atomizer, and that's your three-part electronic cigarette. So again, battery, atomizer, and cartridge. Two parts slightly different. You've got a battery, and you have what's called a disposable atomizer, which is a combination of an atomizer and a cartridge in one. The disposable atomizer is also sometimes referred to as a cartomizer. So that's your two-part electronic cigarette. So what's the difference? What's the advantage? Well, the first problem that the three-part has is it tends to leak. Since this isn't sealed, you will actually get some of the e-liquid on your fingers, and I actually did as I put this together. The second problem is that as you vape or e-smoke the three-part, the amount of vapor, or the consistency of the vapor, diminishes or drops as you get to the end of the cartridge. The third problem that you have with this is that these atomizers will tend to get gunked up, or what they call flooded, and you'll have to clean them periodically. Then eventually they'll just simply burn out and you'll have to throw them away and buy a new one. So there are two parts to replace here, the cartridge and the atomizer. The next thing is the amount of puffs, basically the amount of cigarettes you get out of this cartridge. Now, according to the studies, a normal cigarette will give you about 12 to 14 puffs. So some companies will claim, including this company, that this cartridge is worth 20 cigarettes, while it's really only worth 100 puffs, and that's about 7 cigarettes. So, and we've tested, and you're not going to get more than 7 cigarettes. There are some larger cartridges out there that may give you 10 cigarettes or about 150 puffs. The two-part is sealed, so there isn't any problem with leaks. Because it's constructed differently, the amount of vapor does not diminish as you smoke it. It stays consistent until you get to the end of the cartridge. There's no problem with the flooding of the atomizer, because in essence, when you finish this disposable atomizer, you're going to dispose of it, and you're going to put on a new one. So you're basically getting a fresh atomizer every time. Now, this is worth 250 to 300 puffs, and we've tested it, and we got 300 puffs. So that's the equivalent of 20 cigarettes or a pack. So the two-part has a lot of advantages. I really don't see any advantage to the three-part. It's the newer technology. The biggest advantage that this has over the three-part is when you actually try the product. Now, when we tried this product, it's a lot tougher to inhale. By the end of the day, I had a headache from trying to inhale this cigarette. A lot easier, a lot more comfortable, and it's just a lot smoother to inhale. So that's the differences between the two and the three-part. Again, there's a lot of models, but these are the two types of construction that are out there. So now we're going to move on to our next section, which is our product as compared to the competitor's product.